went after them with a baseball bat. Just swung it. Can you imagine? Your long-lost brother and sister show up, probably smelling like lavender and trust funds, and wham, Louisville Slugger welcome wagon. That's how you handle family reunions.
For the 1000th time, the summary says, he threatened them, likely out of shock and confusion. He didn't actually connect, though the impulse speaks volumes about his underlying aggression. Wouldn't you say? Typical trauma response.
Trauma schmama. It's called establishing boundaries. With hardwood. Best part of the whole book. Probably.
Welcome back to Hot Book Radio, where literature occasionally survives the discussion. I'm Dr. Eleanor Vance.
And I'm Big Rick Ronson. And today we're diving head first into The Forgotten One by Catherine Bybee. It's about this plumber, right? Max gets a call. Turns out his deadbeat dad was secretly Jeff Bezos, and now he owns Amazon.
He's a construction worker, and his father was a fictional billionaire, named Aaron, not Jeff Bezos. And the inciting incident involves a DNA test. Swab of the cheek. Not a phone call. Atsu? Did you even read the summary I highlighted for you?
Details. Point is, broke dude gets rich overnight. It's the American dream served up on a platinum platter. What's not to love? Unlike some books we've discussed. Don't get me started on the sparrow again. Your defense of that space cannibal priest, still gives me nightmares.
It was a complex theological allegory. Something clearly beyond your grasp. Much like the ethical quagmire presented in this particular narrative.
Okay, Max. Our boy Max. Rough life, foster care, probably ate gravel for breakfast. Suddenly, he's richer than God. And yeah, maybe he waves a bat around. Who wouldn't be freaked out? These siblings just appear like, surprise, we share DNA and a tax bracket. I'd probably reach for a tire iron myself.
While his reaction is perhaps understandable, given the circumstances, and his background, which the author, rather clumsily, shoehorns, with mentions of abuse, threatening potential family members with a weapon, suggests significant, unresolved anger issues and poor impulse control. He's less dreamy and more candidate for intensive therapy.
Therapy? He needs a good accountant. And maybe a tailor. The reviewers love him, though. Dreamy, heartwarming. Sigh. They want to wrap him in a blanket and feed him soup.
The reader projection onto Max is alarming. It speaks to a societal fetishization of the damaged but redeemable man trope. But let's talk about the real piece of work. Sarah McNeilly, the reporter.
Ooh, Sarah. Works for some trashy gossip mag. But she's got integrity. She only writes the truth. Like my cousin Brenda, who worked the psychic hotline, but swore she only channeled real spirits. Right.
Precisely. Her entire profession is predicated on intrusion and speculation. And then, as assistance, she immediately develops romantic feelings for Max, the subject, her potentially career, making expose. It's not just unethical. It's practically a firing offense in any reputable Newsroom.
Come on. It's chemistry. Sparks flew. You can't schedule love. Maybe she saw his potential. His big bank account.
She saw a vulnerable, newly wealthy man with obvious trust issues as an easy, both professionally and personally. It's predatory. Let's not even get started on the deadbeat, billionaire, Aaron Stone, universally agreed scumbag, or the mother who abandoned Max. Talk about a Freudian nightmare waiting to happen.
Yeah. The mom showing up. Awkward. But hey, at least the siblings seem nice. Maybe too nice. Like those creepy kids in Village of the Damned. But with better portfolios.
Their immediate, unwavering acceptance is certainly convenient for the narrative. Almost saccharine.
So, is it good? People are losing their minds over this thing. 5 stars everywhere. I devoured it. Couldn't put it down. One lady said, and I quote, "His reaction to the Uncle Max shirt had me crying. Crying. Over a T-shirt. What was on it? A picture of a dying puppy holding a winning lottery ticket."
The emotional hyperbole surrounding this book is fascinating. It seems to function as pure wish fulfillment. One reviewer aptly described it as a cross between a Hallmark movie and Dynasty, which begs the question, can something be too saccharine?
No way. It's escapism. Who wants reality? Reality is paying bills and finding weird stuff in the back of the fridge. I want the billionaire fantasy. Though, okay. Some reviews were weird. Someone said the ending threw me off a little bit. What? Did he give all the money back? Did Sarah run off with the accountant?
And let's not ignore the tonal dissonance. We have this frothy, unrealistic rags to riches romance smashed right up against mentions of mental, sexual abuse in the foster system. It's jarring. It feels exploitative, using serious trauma as a cheap shortcut to character depth without actually engaging with it meaningfully.
Maybe it adds grit, like finding a pebble in your cotton candy. Makes you appreciate the sweet stuff more.
That's certainly one interpretation. A deeply flawed one. We supposedly got an email asking, isn't Sarah brave for standing up to her scummy boss and falling for Max? Or catastrophically unprofessional?
It's romantic. Forbidden love. Like Romeo and Juliet. If Juliet was trying to get a scoop on Romeo's family fortune for the Verona Chronicle.
If Max were a sandwich, what would he be?
Easy. A Philly cheesesteak. Rough around the edges. Kinda messy. But ultimately satisfying and probably bad for your long-term health. Sarah. She's one of those fancy cucumber sandwiches with the crusts cut off. Looks innocent. But you know it's judging you.
That's surprisingly insightful. In a completely nonsensical way.
All right, time for the verdict. I'm giving The Forgotten One a solid 8 out of 10 baseball bat warnings. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. And I kinda love the sheer audacity of it all. Plus instant billionaires. Yes, please.
I, on the other hand, am giving it 3 out of 10 ethical red flags. The premise is insulting wish fulfillment. The central romance is deeply problematic. And the handling of serious themes is clumsy at best. It's literary junk food. And not even the satisfyingly greasy kind.
You just hate fun. Admit it.
I hate lazy writing and ethical train wrecks, disguised as romance. There's a difference.
Agree to disagree. Again, join us next week when we tackle, Gary the Sentient Mailbox and the Existential Crisis. Sounds uplifting.
Until then, try to read something with a little more substance. Or don't. This is Heart Book Radio.